Zach, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell issued a video statement on Friday to kind of paraphrase it a little bit that just says that we were wrong for not listening to NFL players earlier. And this is kind of specifically talking about the protests that have been going on recently. And this is focusing especially on Colin Kaepernick for when he knelt a couple years ago. So, Zach, I'm really curious about your thoughts about this. When you first heard this statement, or that Roger Goodell put out this statement, what was the first initial reaction that you had?
I was surprised, to be honest. The NFL has for a long time not really said anything about politics either way, both standing with certain things or not. So this is the first time I can really think of the NFL taking a stance on something as an entire organization. So I'm glad. So based on what they said, I'm glad not only did they say, hey, we stand against these things, but then they said they went in further and even said we should have listened. We apologize for not taking action sooner, and we should have listened when people were saying these things before. Like you said, Colin Kaepernick and kneeled, Eric Reed, Michael Bennett, a number of other players kneeled during the national anthem, and that was a big thing, especially in the 2016-2017 season, and how he was like, well, we should have listened to our players earlier. And I'm glad that not only did they say we stand with this now, but we should have listened earlier. And they also committed to making the U.S. more equitable racially and working to end police brutality. Yeah.
And, it's never easy to admit because like you said, it's one thing to just say that you stand with them, but then it's also big to mention that they admit that they were wrong. So again, big props to Goodell and the entire NFL for that. Zach, I actually have a quote from running back Adrian Peterson, and it essentially talks about that he knows for a fact he plans on kneeling once the NFL season starts in September. And the quote is that years ago, seen Colin Kaepernick taking a knee. Now we are all ready to take a knee together going into this season without a doubt. So Adrian Peterson, I would argue one of the most decorated running backs, both in the NFL currently and also just in its history. But Zach, when we see more players talking about how they will take a knee for this upcoming season, and with Goodell releasing this video statement about how they stand with him and that they were wrong, where do you think the NFL stands or is going to go with this, knowing that you have players like Adrian Peterson who have made it vocal, saying that I will be kneeling for this upcoming season?
The NFL, well, based on what they said, the NFL has to back it. They can't. That's, for a number of reasons. Bad PR is one of them. If you want to be, completely frank, the NFL has to back what they said. So they can't say anything about players kneeling. They have to allow players to kneel. The one interesting thing is the way it's gone before. It'll be interesting to see what the president says about all of this at this time, and what that means not only for what that means for the NFL in terms of the president. And of course, people are not going to people are going to stop watching after this or after the kneeling, because we both know there's people who feel different feelings about this. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of happens if the NFL gets as political as it does, or going forward. But I think I would like to say I applaud the NFL for what they said. And if what Adrian Peterson says is true and all these players are going to kneel, it's going to be a very interesting NFL season.
And I agree with you on everything that you said with that in terms of applauding the NFL. Again, the biggest thing, just admitting that they were wrong. And then, as you said, a lot of stuff that we're going to be looking ahead to once the NFL season starts in September.